Hi everyone, you're joining Karen from tillycrafts.co.uk. Today I'm bringing you a card from the InspireINK blog hop, which we do every month, and it's where a group of demonstrators get together and we all post our blogs to a link so that you can look around everybody's. So the theme for February's blog hop was a colour challenge, and these were the colours that we had to pick from. So you can either go down, across, or from corner to corner. So I chose to go for Early Espresso, Whisper White and Gold. Well, it's now like basic white, depending on if you've got Whisper White or basic white, whatever you've got left. So those are the three that I chose to go with. And I'm going to recreate this card for you. Very simple. Not a lot of stamping. I've just used one stamp, and I did make one slight error. I meant to use Early Espresso to stamp in, and I stamped in Memento ink, but we shall do it in Espresso today. For these triangles, I have used the stitched triangle dies. These are them. Now, it looks like there's some missing. You get a total of 19 dies, but I've already got these out ready for us to cut with, but it's a brilliant die set, that. And I also brought in some embossing folders. I have the Subtles embossing folder, which we did the background in, and I also had, for this one here, Hammered Metal it's called, so that's that one. And I have these two, which is a combo pack, and I shall tell you what they're called because I can't remember. Little Details. So I've used this one out of the Little Details. Now, excuse me, I did use these two, which were actually out of the autumn catalogue, the August to December catalogue. These aren't any current anymore, so I've brought in the Dainty Diamonds, so I'm going to be using that today instead of those two, just to do it slightly different. We also have faceted gems on, I keep calling them faceted gems and they're not, the gilded gems, and I quite like them because they're like masculinely ones. They're not, even though they're quite blingy, they're not blingy in a female way, if you know what I mean. So I put some of those on it, and this lovely trim, it's called Early Espresso, and it's soft, really soft. It's lovely fox suede trim, if I can get that out, and I think it just finishes the card off nice. So what we'll need for this, whoopsie, there's all my triangles ready to go. I'm going to emboss first though, and hopefully I've not dropped any down the back. So we've got card base, A4 cut in half, scored in half, and I'll fold it up in a bit. We've got an Early Espresso layer and a Whisper White layer. I will probably trim that down a little bit because I don't want such a big border around it. All the measurements will be on my website for you, and I've got a scrap piece of Early Espresso, some gold, and we need this Whisper White to emboss. So let's get started with the embossing and see if I can do this without messing it up. Right, put the card to one side. Right, so bring in my lovely Stampin' emboss machine, cutting emboss machine I should say, from Stampin' Up. I'm waiting for my mini to come, and when I get my mini it'll go on here a lot better. So first of all I'm going to do the Whisper White, so you just pop it in the folder, if I can open it. So it just goes in the folder. Oops, just lining it up like this so the card's in there. And to emboss you need the base plate, which is number 1, and it tells you exactly on here how you emboss. And we also need the grey plate, which is number 4. So you pop your folder down, my base plate down, and if they're a 3D folder, you don't need anything else. If they're not a 3D, you need an extra sheet, which I'll show you. So that's that one done. So we want some hammered metal. So again, I'm just going to bob my bit of gold in there, run that through again. It glides through really nicely. There's a lot of die cutting and doing different bits. So, and then I'm going to use the Dainty Diamonds on the Early Espresso. I think I had one more folder I wanted to use. There it is, I found it. And this one is a lot thinner. So we're going to bring in the number 2 plate and we'll make sure it goes through. And in this one I want a piece of gold. So I'll pop that in there like that. I do have some triangles already cut out as well, but I thought I might as well show you all today for a change instead of me having everything ready. So how nice is that? That is absolutely lovely. Right, that's the hammered metal one. This is the subtles one. You can't really see it, but it is very, very subtle, hence why it's called subtles, but we need that to one side. And the Dainty Diamonds, there's the Dainty Diamonds. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring a base plate in, number 3, and that goes on there. Can you see how new that is? My old ones look really raggedy, so I thought, hey ho, we'll have some new ones for everybody today. I'm just going to pop my triangles on. And got some little ones. Did I drop one? And I'm cutting loads out because these I will actually use on more projects. There we go. And then you pop on your another number 2 like so and just run it through. Gives us plenty to play with. Oops. Right, so I'll just pop these to one side because I want to cut some out of the Early Espresso now. If I'm lost a little one, it's fallen down there. I'm terrible for losing things popping up everywhere. Whoops, I want the die. I do need a piece of scrap Whisper White, which I've got a little bit in here. I'm just going to cut a piece off this because I don't. Is it this one? Yeah. So I need a brown one, a white one of those to stamp the sentiment on, and these ones are going to go on the Early Espresso. I'm just going to spread them out a little bit like so. Going on my top layer again. We're waiting for the magnetic plates to come back out. There were some originally with these, but there was some fault with them, so they recalled them all, and they're working on the design to see if they can get them working right. They curled up. I have got one, and it does curl up quite a bit. Right, let's just get these off of here, and then Oh, I've cut my new plates. Never mind. They are there to be used. Right, smooth these out of the way and then we can see what we're doing. So, snap those out. These little ones out. My dies. I count them back in afterwards, make sure I've not lost any, but I have a magnetic plate. I have like a junk, well it's not a junk box, but it's a little box, and I put everything in there because that's got magnetic sheets on the bottom. Oh, I knew I had another one, see. I knew one flicked off, but it's only a little one, so we can manage without that. Right, so let's get all our, I did cut some out previously. See, I've got some on here, and I put some little white on it. And these, so we can have a look at what we're going to use and what we're not going to use. So first of all, I think we'll do the sentiment, and then that's done. And we want the early espresso this time to Stampin. Now, like I said, I use the sentiment from Many Messages. Fabulous stamp set. And this is a complete stamp, so you put all of that down like on your stamp apparatus, you stamp it, and then there's a die that actually goes with it, and you line it up. This is smaller than the actual images, it's at 80%, but basically what you do is when you've stamped it, you line it up, and you line up these stars and the hearts and the star there, and you get it level, and you run it through, and it cuts out all of the sentiments. Now, me being me, I tried it, I did it, and then I thought, oh, I think I'd rather have them separate. So I've completed Carnage, or whatever you call it, and I've cut them up, so don't be shocked. So I've actually got that one, that's the one we want to put on. So as you can see, they do come in a big one, but I don't use, I've cut out the ones that I use the most. So you can still run this through the die machine and get lots of labels, but then I can stamp on what I want onto it. So whoops, hey ho, nice to be different. Right, let's get a stamp block for this, and let me just bring a sheet of paper in. I'm trying to keep my grid paper clean. Right, so I'm just going to pop this down. I just want to see how this stamps. Yep. So I'm just going to stamp it on there, check it's right. A little bit wonky, but hey ho, I can cope with that. Be brave, be strong, you've got this. Right, move that out the way, and let's bring the card in. So, like I say, A4 sheet cut in half, scored in half. So we're just going to give that a burnish. Make that nice and flat. This is my layer. You can just see the embossing on it, and this is going to go on here. Now, this is a normal layer, so I'd normally lay it up like that, but I don't want a thicker border, so I'm actually going to bob it to the side like that, and I'm going to trim down. You don't have to, but it was just my preference for this card. I'm just doing it on my mini trimmer, and then it saves me getting the big one out, and there we go. I like that. Bring a bit of Tombow in, and what we'll do is stick this down. I just like to put quite a bit of glue on with it being embossed, just to make sure it sticks. And the best thing about Tombow is you can move it if you're not quite happy with the position, so that is one good thing. Next, I need some of this trim. Right, go on, give me a clue. Where did I put it? There it is. So I'm just going to snip off a bit. And then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Seal Plus. roughly about there is the middle. Oh, this is my fault before, because I did a video before and I used it on paper. I thought I had my other one and I used it on paper, so it all curled back up. Silly me. So I'm just going to stick that on there, go around the card, make sure I'm quite happy with the level. Oops. And then put a bit more on there. Then I'll just double check. I don't like to think, sometimes it moves when you have it. There we go. See, it's not level now. Right. I'm thinking that's more level. I put the tape in the wrong place, I think. No, I haven't. There we go. Yes, like that. Now this is going straight onto the card because we're popping some of those up. I shouldn't really be using it on her. Oh, it's very strong, this Stampin seal. So let's pop quite a bit on it because I don't want this to come off. Right, so that's the only trouble with this. Like I said, with Tomboy you've got room to move it, but on this you haven't. So there we go. Quite like that. So on this one, this is going to be my centerpiece, and I want a little gold one. Did I cut a little gold one out? I'm sure I cut a little gold one out. I did, and it's here. I told you it'd go all over the place, so I'm just going to have that on there. Whoops. Tombow on it. I'm just going to use my tweezers because my fingers aren't working proper today. There we go, that's lovely, like that. Now, just get some of these and see where we're going to put them. Don't have to be the same as last time, I can do them different. Might go for a different layout actually. Excuse me. There we go. We shall bling this one up like that. And some little ones, bring in some little ones. I need another gold one in, don't I? Let's have that going down there. Yes, I like that. Or we can do this one with a different pattern on it. Right, swap that one for that one. And this one, I think we will bring down here like that. Yes. Right, so this one's going to go flat. I never know what all the names of these triangles are. I've got like right-handed triangles, is it isosceles triangles? I should have paid more attention. But there again, I only use triangles in crafting. Right, those can go on dimensionals. Whoops, my fingers are sticky. Silly girl. Right, just let me grab a punch and bob that on there while I just wipe my hands, or else I'm going to get sticky stuff everywhere. That's better. Right, that's my sentiment. So this one needs dimensionals on it. I will use those up just for ease. I'm using these. Sneaky peek of my strawberry. Been playing with a strawberry sweet. There is a video coming. Right. One. I'm going to have that one down there. Should put this on dimensionals too. I quite like them stuck up. I like some stuck down and the others stuck up. So see, so you can make similar cards and just have different layouts on them. Right. There we go. What else have I got? Have I got any others that would fit on? See that? Oh, there he is. I thought I had another little one. Lovely. I like that. I'll save those for another project. I'll go back in the case ready to go. And the only thing that's missing now is these lovely gems, these faceted gems. So I've gone a bit overboard with these, but I like them. There we go. And that's my card finished. So there's the one I made originally, and then there's the one that we just made today. You have to let me know which is your favourite. I think they're quite nice. If you notice this gold foil's slightly different, is because one's the current one, which is in the catalogue, and the other one is from the other catalogue, so it's got a slightly different tone to it. That one's the same. So, but I do think they look good, and I'm sure I've got a few men I can send these to. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you take the time to have a look at everybody else's blogs, because there's some fantastic cards on there, and hopefully see you again on Thursday. Thank you very much for joining me. Take care, stay safe, bye.